Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? The screen's not over far enough. It's Mike Lepre. This is Legit Fantasy Basketball, brought to you by LegitFantasySports.com. If you haven't been paying attention for the last couple of months, Legit Fantasy Sports has been taking over. We have officially put our flag down, and we are taking over. This is episode number 99. That's 99 hours of us talking. We've got basketball, we've got baseball, we've got football, we have the paranormal. And starting next Wednesday and every Wednesday night from 8 to 9, the return of Legit Fantasy Wrestling with myself and Joey Paranormal. Can't wait for that. But this is basketball. So joining me as always as Brother Ray. Brother Ray, welcome to the show.
Hey, I have 99 problems and Kyrie Irving isn't one.
Oh boy, I hear that. All right. And I guess hearing that, which makes no sense. Coach TJ, welcome to episode 99. How are you tonight?
Excited to be here. If you think you're going to be able to keep me off extreme fantasy wrestling, whatever, it's not going to happen.
I didn't know you were a wrestling fan.
Well, last night, for example, after the Sixers game, I couldn't sleep. I'm watching WrestleMania 8 right now.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah, I started at the first pay-per-view, and I'm going to watch every single one of them, which is easy in the 90s and 80s because there was only 4 or 5 a year. When you get up after the Attitude Era, when they start doing a pay-per-view every weekend, I don't think I can handle it. But you got to see my wrestling toys. We must have 250 wrestling toys in this house.
Yeah, me too.
I'm about that life.
That's like my favorite. That was like my favorite, one of my favorite sports. Well, not that it's considered a sport, but it is. Guys, basketball, right? Kyrie, I feel like he's on a mission to make people not like basketball. I don't understand what his deal is. He was paid. He's he was paid. Like the communists, they sneak in and then they ruin everything from the inside out. Like Coach TJ, not to be a psychologist, but explain to me what it is with this guy and why he loves this negative energy. I know we talked about it, but what's the deal?
He's a different kind of dude all around, and he seeks it out. That's what's crazy because there's been a lot of characters in pro sports that over time you come to learn wow, that guy, he's a knucklehead. He's dangerous for your team. He's a locker room bad for the locker room. Kyrie, you won't hear a word, and no one cares. Everyone's looking at the Nets play well, and then Kyrie's got to go be Kyrie. It's crazy. And when you watch him, so of course we're going to talk about Sixers Nets. He's still ridiculous, and I want to enjoy him so much. He made a move the other night where he went from left to right and then glided to the baseline and took a floater from 13 feet. It's damn near impossible. And then you remember it's Kyrie, and you just don't like him.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, because what the issue was, it was with can't remember his name right now, but the N-word was dropped, I guess. Schroeder. Yeah, Schroeder. And then Kyrie went nuts. He went nuts that you saying you can't use that word anymore. When did Kyrie become the official spokesperson?
Well, the best is on Twitter. Twitter sometimes can be good when they started putting up videos and clips of Kyrie using that exact word. But now he's sensitive about that now. So now we're gonna be the word police on an NBA floor. Can you imagine what Kevin Garnett said on an NBA floor? We wouldn't have show number 100 if we repeated what Garnett said on an NBA floor because they would ban us from the internet. And now Kyrie's the government censorship program. Please get out of here, dude.
I think when he said that, Schroeder kind of was like, "What? What? What do you mean, what?" He was looking around is this a joke? Is this in your new show, Kyrie? You're going to punk me? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? We just called each other that before the game. What do you mean? Brother Ray, what do you think? Kyrie was just fishing for fucking problems?
it's all it's all coming to roost. They're all coming to roost. You want to build a super team. You want to take these three personalities, these three mercenaries who have destroyed other franchises. They leave franchises in their wake. You want to milk that one championship, maybe two, and then be completely off the map for the next 20 years. That's Brooklyn right now.
So
you got what you wanted, enjoy it.
Their big three, right? If I may use the term, are all bitches. They have three spoiled bitches. That's how I feel about Durant, about the Beard, and Kyrie Irving. Like they all three of them are like I wouldn't want to hang out with those guys because they seem like they would have too much to do. Like, can we just go down to play cards? No, I gotta get ready. I gotta do this stuff. Can we just go here? No, he said this about like they're just too much. You know what I mean? All three of them. Like, why? Why?
I don't know. They're like the typical. They're the stereotype of what you think about when you think about like a spoiled AAU athlete.
Yep.
Those three guys are it. Like that's it. Where they've been, they're so good at what they do, and they've been getting their ass kissed since they were probably 12 years old. And to put them all together, I feel bad we haven't seen them all together. Harden's been playing really well, and Kyrie's been playing really well too. I don't know how it's all going to fit in together, but as far as the likability factor, it's impossible. Like, even if you live in Brooklyn, I don't think, even if you want that team to be good, I don't see how you want it to be good with those guys. Because they're not likable.
Agreed.
They're really not. Like, one thing about Philly fans are tough, but you got to like Embiid. You just got to like him. He's goofy and he does dumb shit, but I don't like those three guys, like, personally, and I don't even know them. And it was great last night when the Philly fans are going to stop booing KD, who's not even in the game. Yeah, I like that. Like, yeah, I don't want to like Brooklyn. I don't want to.
Look, KD forever ruined himself with that move to the Warriors. For me, I just did it again. For me, that's what girls say. They start off with "for me" and then they tell you their feelings. But for me, like, he ruined himself with that move with the Warriors, right? Harden not playing defense and his comical way of not playing it sometimes kind of ruined him for me, because as a coach and having a son who plays basketball, you realize that he was somebody you didn't want your kids to watch. Don't watch Harden play because you don't want to follow the way he plays. And then Kyrie has just, I mean, he's the worst of the worst. He's just the biggest bitch of all. Like, on the Celtics, and I'm not even a Celtic fan, but watching him on the Celtics was excruciating. Like, how Danny, I mean, come on.
Can you imagine Kyrie was playing with LeBron, winning the Eastern Conference every year, and he wasn't happy about his situation?
He wanted to be the man.
Like, yeah. I'm going to go be the man. Dude, you get to play with LeBron. Scottie Pippen didn't have a bad run. You know what I mean? John Stockton didn't have a bad run, James. You can be 1B and have a hell of a career if you just be that. Because Kyrie made big shots. He hit a shot to win the finals, but he wanted to be the man. And everywhere, Boston, like, there's not a Boston fan that has anything good to say about the kid. Not a thing. They're more happy with Kemba Walker and his 1.5 legs right now, averaging 14 and 9 than they were with Kyrie. And that says a lot about his personality.
I liked Isaiah Thomas when he was here better than Kyrie. It was more fun to watch. Ray, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because everyone looks at those three players like, oh, they got these three alpha personalities. They're not alphas.
No.
On any of the other teams they were on, they were not the alpha. So what you have is you have three betas on this team that think they're alphas.
Yes.
And that's what's causing all the problems. Michael Jordan was an alpha. Magic Johnson, alpha.
Yes.
We can go on and on. These guys are not alphas. They don't lead. They don't inspire. They don't work hard. At least I don't see it.
I agree with that, I think it's a really good statement.
That is a great point. The only thing I'll disagree with it, KD's a ridiculous worker. I know his personal coach, and he'll go take 500 jump shots at 3 a.m. Like, he's cuckoo when it comes to that. But they're not They're not the kind of they're the go along to get along bunch. Like they're not the kind. They don't have a Kobe in that locker room. Kobe would kill those guys. Like Garnett, kill those guys. You're right. That's a great point.
All right, so I want to go over the games for tonight real quick. See if there's ones we can catch before they go off. But I wanted to bring up one note. So I go on the CBS Sports and it flashes tracker for the WNBA draft, and I'm like, oh, that's tonight. So apparently that is tonight, right? Let me ask you this: how do the Dallas Wings have 3 picks in the top 5? They pick first, second, and they picked 5th. How is that possible? How does a team get 3 picks in the top 5? How is that possible?
This is girls basketball.
Well, I don't know if they call them girls, but it's the WNBA. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to take a shot at the WNBA.
Me too.
I'll tell you what, they got some. They must have some kind of general manager over there in the Dallas women's market.
Right?
You pull that off, forget it. You're all set.
Fucking video game trades. That's like me playing franchise mode. I'm gonna get all the picks.
Go ahead. I'm gonna have to go ahead and load up right here. Could you imagine the NBA team doing that? It would be the Knicks, and they would blow all 3 picks.
And the worst thing is, they pick 6'5", a girl 6'5" out of Texas, right? Center. Oh, that hurts like in the insides of my stomach because a 6'5" does not mean center to me. And then with the second pick, they took a girl from Finland who's 6'5" and plays center.
Well, 6'5"
So Dallas picked 2 girls in a row that are 6'5" and played center. They came back with the 5th pick and took a girl who's 5'11" and plays guard. But why would you go with 2? You think that they got like the Twin Towers now? Like those 2 6'5" girls?
Twin
it is?
Olajuwon
my screen.
Must be that. I wonder what the rating.
Is it raining at Evansfield?
Yeah, I guess so. But like 6'5" should not be like center, right?
Well, in women's basketball, 6'5" is a center. That's a big woman. That's a tall woman.
Big woman.
You don't see 6'9" women walking around, right? Nowhere.
No.
No. Yeah, so that's our WNBA. Thanks for letting me know the draft was tonight. I'm sure the ratings will be spectacular.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it was unbelievable. There's like 3 of them at like some like Portuguese social club, like banquet house. They're in the back. Bingo's up next, so they got to speed it along.
They're all sitting around talking about how they need to make more money than LeBron.
Yeah, right.
They had some woman on the news the other day trying to do some kind of thing about how there's no scientific testosterone evidence of males being better than females at sports. And this lady's out there, she's talking about it, and it's one of these, trans advocates or whatever it is. It's like, all you have to do is look at the 6'5" centers going in the lottery of the WNBA, and that pretty much shits on your whole argument.
I think I saw that. That girl is the one. Isn't that the girl that's the bike rider?
I don't know. I gave it a passing. I listened to it because it was on one of my podcasts today, and I'm thinking to myself, under what circumstance could any WNBA team is getting smoked by a D3 men's team? Smoked. And that's, you get the draft tonight, you get 12 fans, and you get 2 6'5" centers. Imagine being so good at being a GM, you get 3 top 5 picks, and then you go and use one on your backup center.
Yeah, imagine, right?
I'm going to Danny Ainge is jealous, Coach. I bet you Danny Ainge is jealous.
Yes. Oh, he would be hoarding those picks, and he would have been hoarding those picks. They'd be calling EEI every hour for the last 6 years. Like, can you believe all these picks?
I can't believe we took 2 6'5" girls, guy. Why would Danny do that? Danny took 2. That's my EEI impersonation.
Speaking of Danny, we got Celtics Lakers tonight.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, no one even knows. Is that a shame?
I went with the Cavs tonight. I went with the Hawks tonight. They'll go down 6 for the upset. And I went with now the next 2 games. 10 o'clock, we've got the Celtics Lakers. And you got the Lakers. Boston's favored by 6. And you got the Kings and Suns. And you got the Suns favored by 12.5. I, of course, went with the Lakers and the upset of the night being the Kings. What do you guys think about the two games coming up at 10? TJ, you started off. Celtics Lakers. Celtics by 6. Kings Suns. Suns by 12.5.
Am I crazy? Is LeBron playing tonight?
I don't believe so.
Not
that I've heard.
All right. I'm sorry. He wasn't on the injury list that I just looked at.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Celtics are the pick. The Celtics are on a 4-game winning streak. The Lakers, who knows what's going on with the Lakers? Although last week I bet against them, they won. But yeah, I'll take Boston and give the 6. If we could back up just 1 second, though, that's a ballsy move taking Cleveland tonight because Steph has been on fire.
Yeah,
true.
Last week, that's a ballsy pick, but right now you're winning it. But yeah, Ray, I'll take the Celtics.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, they're playing well. Tatum's playing well. Obviously, he padded his stats last week in that 50-plus eruption in a horrible game. But they're playing better, so I'd have to go with Boston here, especially with the Lakers, dealing with what they're dealing with.
See, I like the Lakers tonight. I just think this is another night where they sneak a win out of the Celtics. It's one of those sleepy type games. But what do you guys think about the second one? Suns and Kings.
Yeah, so I think Phoenix is going to blow them out. Phoenix just gave Miami a beat, and the Kings have kind of thrown in the towel. So going back, that was one of the teams I liked. I really liked them at the beginning of the year. They're terrible. The line is big. I think it was 12.5 the last time I saw it.
Yep.
I would probably give the points. I mean, we don't like giving those kind of points because it is the NBA. We saw last night with in a blowout, Brooklyn goes on a 21-1 run, and it's not a blowout anymore. So that could very easily happen. But to me, Phoenix is on a mission right now, and they're playing really well. They're going to win by well over double figures.
Brother Ray?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I mean, I hate to give that many points, especially this year, because on any given night, you see the way these things swing. It's just it's crazy. Phoenix is playing well right now. I'd have to go with them. Sacramento really has nothing to play for on the road.
Sacramento's on an 8-game losing streak.
They're going to win tonight.
Well, I hope
I don't know why.
You.
I don't know why. Because I guess right now I feel like is when the upsets will happen, right? Because it's a weird time of the season. It's like not the very end, but it's like before the very end. Does that make sense?
I do know what you mean. It's before the home stretch, right? So this is like dead time before we get to that real playoff push. I think it's the one thing that's going on in the league right now is the stars are just not all playing. And it's almost every night, and it's almost with every team where guys are getting all these nights off. I mean, tonight's games, I feel like we got a good grasp on what's going on. But when you look ahead and you see guys taking nights off, and why? Like, why is Luka Doncic getting nights off? He's 22 years old. He's getting a night off.
I agree.
Everyone's talking about, well, we're trying to rest him when we play back-to-backs. Why? Like, he's not getting beat up. No one can even touch him. But
it seems like they're resting some guys for the end of their careers. Like, they want longevity. Like you know what I mean? Like, they're not trying to like keep the guys good for this year. They're looking like as far as like we want to make sure Luke is fine for like 6 years, 7 years on. It's like, why?
Yeah, but this is
what you got now.
Starting pitching where you only got so many bullets in your arm. Or this isn't the NFL where a running back only has so many carries, and you start looking at the NFL stats, right? So the guy's this guy, and then he hits like 700 carries, and it drops. It's the NBA. Like he's going to play 15 years, he's going to play 17, but you're going to sit him now? I don't get it. I don't.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you just see it. I was putting my fantasy basketball lineup in the beginning of the week. And then, you look at Monday, like Lowry, Giannis, and then they're out. And then I'm looking at Butler. Well, Butler's doubtful. He may play, may not. And I think I went on my league post and I blasted Butler. And I hope he read it because he did play. He did play. But that's what the NBA is now. Like you have – and it's just random. It's just random. Like, yeah, we're going to give him rest this, for the next 2 games, 3 games. It ends up being 4 games. Or then they'll come back. It's just, it's not like they added, it's not like there's double the games that it was when, when teams in the 80s played. So I just don't understand it.
Not less is what it is.
Right.
Hold on. I'm sharing the wrong screen here.
This is kind of the downside of it's all about the playoffs. And the playoffs are like 3 months, so it's like it's their own season. This is like an exhibition. They're almost treating it like such. You can tell the Nets don't care about whether they have the 1 seed or not, or else they're coming out there last night and they're playing as many guys as they can play. And they went out there with just Kyrie, you know. By the way, you guys heard that Aldridge retired today?
Yes.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. That's a cool stat you just pulled up right there.
No, I want to show you something. All right, so check this game out. This was a couple years back. This is when they played at Boston when both teams had the exact same record, right? So I'm gonna play the highlights for you. But the main thing I want you guys to look for is I'll get to it. Whenever they score down this end, I want you to look for like the only yellow Lakers jersey. You'll see it when they come down this side. Watch. You're going to be on this end, though. So I guess I got to get to the second thing because they're not going to show the Lakers shoot, I guess. Right? Yep. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. Right around here. See this kid right here? See the yellow jersey right there?
That's you?
That's me.
Nice.
And there's Mike. So there's me right behind the thing and my son with the white T-shirt. Can you see me? Right where it says tickets on sale now? I'm the only yellow jersey with a little kid in a white T-shirt.
I see it.
So for this game, every time I watch stats, if the Lakers hit a big one, I jump up and do stuff like a jerk. I'm sorry. I had to share this. Me and my son are forever in this game. And this is the game where we get to go backstage underneath the thing to go eat beforehand. And me being an idiot, I just walked up to the bar and sat down with my son who's like underage. And they're like, you can't sit at the bar. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I was eating the prime rib or whatnot. And that's when the owner of the Celtics comes and he taps me on the shoulder and he's like, yeah, James Worthy, that was a real good player. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he was my favorite. Then he said something like, yeah, but he's not around to get one of these anymore. And he tapped his championship ring on the table and he showed it to my son. And that ring was so filled with diamonds. Like I wanted to just grab it, bite it off his finger and make a run for it. Cause it was like really expensive. Like those championship rings are bangers. They're bangers. And the Celtics organization, as much as I don't like the Celtics, I can't say it anymore. I used to not like the Celtics because it was a competitive thing. I'm a Laker fan. And now I don't like the Celtics just because sometimes they're just a horrible franchise. Like I get tired of the quagmire of the fact that there's times where they always seem like they have the same player, but like 4 of them. Like they're going to take 4 or 5 of the same player. Like I felt that way, oddly enough, with Pierce and who was the soft one?
Antoine Walker?
Yeah. They were like this. They both worked out, but didn't look like it. They looked like they're using the Bowflex at the best. So those guys were like the same, and now they got other guys that are kind of the same. Is it me, or did they do that a lot? They kind of group up. Danny likes to hoard. He's a hoarder. He likes to hoard picks, and he likes to get guys that play the same position multiple times. And every now and then, he throws a flyer on a tall white guy who can't play. Kelly Olynyk. I can go down the line with that one. But, I mean, are the Celtics a boring team to you? They're boring to me. That's what I'm saying.
I have no fun watching the Celtics.
Brother, right?
I haven't had fun with them since IT was there, really.
Yeah, you're right. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. And the thing, too, is they keep on talking about the legacy, all the banners up in the rafters. That team is so far from those banners and all that mystique, and it's just that was then. This is now, folks. You're just a boring ass team. I mean, I don't know. They're sick in so many areas. They really need to look at that franchise from top down. I mean, Danny's getting too many mulligans.
Here's my thing with the banners, right? All of their banners, except for like a few, 4, are from prehistoric days, right? Like in the 50s and 60s. And these Celtic fans walk around with those banners like they actually remember them happening, which they don't.
Yeah.
Right? I'm a Bears fan. I do not walk around talking about the 11 NFL championships that the freaking Bears have because they're irrelevant. And when the NFL did that 100th anniversary thing, I thought it was pretty funny to to remind everyone, the Bears have more championships than the Patriots. So if we're going to go by the Celtics mindset about what matters and what doesn't, then the Bears and the Celtics might as well be the same thing, because we rocked in the 50s too. We really did. This team now, it's not a free agent destination.
No.
And it's only a matter of time before Tatum or Brown is like, screw this. It's not glamorous enough in Boston. It's really not.
My problem is with the Celtics, when they talk about their history, you go back to a time when there was only like 10 teams in the goddamn whole NBA, right? They won 11 championships in a row. And people don't want to admit that the Celtics were stacked. Like, just unfairly stacked for 11 years, right? With like Bill Russell and all this stuff. And then they want to talk about, oh, that's such an unbelievable fact. Look,
there were like 4 teams in the league that were segregated, for God's sake. The Celtics had like 6 black dudes out here running and jumping, and then you go play in St. Louis, and they got like 3 farmers, a milkman, and freaking Bob Pettit. Ooh, whoa! Congratulations, you won that. It wasn't even it was barely a recognized professional league at that time. It's wild though. But to hear him talk, you might think you hear it every year. Oh, Dame Lillard's coming here. No, he's not. AD's coming here. No, he is absolutely not. They're one of the has-been franchises in the NFL, in the NBA right now.
Yeah, they're one of the big, it's a shame, franchises in all of sports right now. Like, it's a shame that they are where they are. Like, they should be the Celtics. Like, I want them to be competitive. I like when the Celtics are good. I do. I like that team when they're good, because when they're bad, they're really awful. And I can't get off the fact that they keep drafting guys that are similar to the guys they already have. They just don't seem like they know how to put that 5. You know how, like, I know teams don't do this anymore, but in my head, I always go point guard, shooting forward, power forward, center, right? I always got that in my head. Who can do this? The Celtics always seem like they got a bunch of 3s, or maybe a couple 4s, right? And that's it. It's like, what's the plan? What am I missing? You know what I mean?
And that is okay if they played a good brand of basketball like they kind of used to. Right now, it's just my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. That's what it's like watching a Celtics game. I mean, you can get away with a bunch of guys being the same size if you're running like the damn Princeton offense and guys are going backdoor and we get a lot of motion. Golden State was kind of like that when Clay and Steph were just doing the same thing on the different sides, but they moved the ball. The Celtics game is like, oh, it's Tatum's turn this possession. Let's watch him back down and take a fall away. I hope they finish at whatever seed it requires Philly to smack them around in the first round. That's what I hope.
The whole world's going crazy, guys. Bill Gates is trying to dampen the sun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not a really good time. There's some stupid things being done by some stupid people. But let's get to the games for tomorrow. Let's go through them. This is peruse the games tomorrow. There's a 3:00 game I want to get to first. I think it's going to be a good game. We'll see. The Pacers are playing Utah tomorrow at 3:00. Utah is favored by 9.5. There's something about that game tomorrow that I'm worried about Utah covering the 9.5. I feel like it's going to be a day game where everyone doesn't get up for the day game. They don't go through the same rituals, same whatever, and you don't have the same mojo. TJ, you would know more about that.
Yeah, that is a strange time to start a game.
In Utah, 3. So what time is it in Utah? If it's 3:00 Eastern time.
Isn't it noon?
Yeah, it's up at noon.
Wake up, have breakfast, go play an NBA game. Yeah, it might be an awkward game. I would go with the under. I would take the under. I think guys will be a little bit sluggish getting started. A lot of these guys don't even show up to the arena for an 8:00 game. They're not showing up to the arena till noon. Never mind being ready to play.
And it's 9.5 points, the spread. That's my point.
Yeah, I think I like Indiana. I think I like Indiana if I can get that many points.
And the under, right? Like a 9.5, and the over under is 235.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the under is a great pick.
Won 4 of the last 5 too. It's not like Indiana's a bum team and we're giving it to them just on that. I mean, Indiana's won 4 of the last 5. They're trying to they're trying to improve their spot. So yeah,
I think the under is an incredible pick for tomorrow, under 235 for an early game.
I think you see it being like 19-16 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I can. Right?
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's tough to win in Utah, but I think playing at a weird time like that, as you guys mentioned, Indiana is playing well lately, so
But they don't
that's
have
a
to
lot of
win.
points.
They don't have to win. They just got to stay within 9.5.
Right.
You know?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of points. 9.5 is a lot of points. So, and I do think an under is a strong case there with that early time.
Don't you think? I think it's strategic that we got a 3:00 tip off in Utah because there's nothing to do in Utah. Those guys are probably in bed right now. Like you would not see a 3:00 tip off in Miami.
No.
Like guys are stumbling in at 9:00 in the morning in Miami.
Yeah. No one would play. No. All right. 7:00 games. We get 3 of them. Thunder Pistons.
Oof.
I want to say who cares, but we got to kind of make a pick. I don't have a spread on them yet, but someone's going to have to sit through that game. Someone's going to have to watch it because they got to keep score. Someone has to run the clock. So, and there's going to be refs. So those poor unfortunate fools have to watch this game. I don't know. I don't know what the spread's going to be, but I would just say I like the Pistons better than the Thunder at this point. I just do. I think they'll beat the Thunder as bad as they are. I do. I think they'll beat the Thunder at home. I don't know by how many, but I think they'll win at home. TJ?
Yeah, why not? I mean, the Thunder just lost by 40 to Golden State. I mean, the Thunder's they just took Al Horford right off the team. They're like, yeah, you're too old. We're done with you. Yeah, I'll take the Pistons.
Ray?
Yeah, I mean, OKC, we talked about just how bad they are. And, you go from Harden, Durant, Westbrook to this. I mean, it's really sad. I'd have to go with the Pistons, but oh my God, I would hate to put money on Detroit.
I hate to watch the game. I would just hate to be there. All right. The next game at 7, though, is a banger tomorrow. The Clippers at the Sixers. I don't have the spread for it yet. Don't know why. Maybe because they're wondering who's going to play. But all right, if the Sixers get Embiid on the floor, I like the Sixers. Like I think if they can get guys to play, they're a better team. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I think the Sixers are a better team. I don't know if they'll win tomorrow, based on who plays. Thoughts?
Well, yeah. So the first thing is the Sixers are going to be favored tomorrow by 5 or 6 points, and people are going to jump all over the Clippers, and they're going to be wrong because not everybody's going to realize Kawhi's not playing. So Kawhi is not playing. Anybody who's listening here wants a reason why that number is going to be bigger than your brain tells you. No Kawhi. I don't think the Clippers have a chance to run with them at all. They snuck by Detroit, but they only beat Detroit by 2, if you can believe that, last time out, and that was without Kawhi. So to me, the Sixers kind of are playing another undermanned team, another win, and I would lay the points.
Ray?
Sixers really good at home. I mean, they're really a solid bet at home, even without Embiid. I love the Sixers here, especially without Kawhi. You got to go. I think you got to go the Sixers here at home.
All right. Here's another game for you guys. Pelicans at the Wizards. Holy God. The Pelicans are favored by 1.5. The over and under is 242.5.
Wow.
Do they think this is going to be a game of horse? Like there's just no defense at all for 242?
That's what they're telling us.
Wow. I mean, those teams are horrible. I mean, I know they can score, but are they both so bad that they're both going to score what? $1.25 at least each? $1.24, $1.23?
I mean, the Wizards have scored over 123 in 4 of the last 5 games. So the Wizards do score. They don't guard anybody, but they do score. I mean, can't you see Zion going for 40 tomorrow? Like, because who's going to stand in his way? Like, yeah, it's whatever.
I guess. Those scores seem like
you were talking about your son earlier. That is not a game you want your son to watch and think about playing defense. I do have a spread on this one though. The Wizards are getting 1.5. So Vegas likes Zion. I do too. I'll take New Orleans, and then boy, you're on your own.
Yeah, because you know what? The Wizards are 10-16 at home. It's not like they got like this home court advantage. You know what I mean? So
jacking up jump shots.
Yeah, unless Gilbert Arenas is going to show up tomorrow night, I'm going to go with New Orleans.
I agree with that. All right, 7:30, Hornets at Nets. I do not have a spread for this, and I think the Nets are going to completely lump up the Hornets. The question is by how many?
Yeah, I wonder what they'll give us for a number on this, huh?
You think what? 10, 11?
It might be that big. Yeah, it could be that big.
I still take the Nets. I would still take the Nets at 10. I do. Again, because Kyrie might make tomorrow a bit of a statement. Like he might come out and you know what I mean, drop like 20 quick. Like,
and I don't. Here's another game where I don't see Durant on the injury report.
No, so I have a player to watch for tomorrow. As a matter of fact,
but here's what pisses me off though. You're the Nets, right? You're trying to compete for the 1 seed, at least theoretically, and you're going to sit this guy out against the rival, and then you're going to go play him in a game you're going to win anyway.
Right.
Like that just goes against every competitive nature that I think that you would have as a coach. Like, no, you're going to sit. Oh, you want to sit a game this week? Well, sit against the damn Charlotte Hornets. They're not sitting against the Sixers. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. And I agree with you. But man, it just seems like with the NBA this year, it's a lot of, yeah, you're right. And I agree with you. It doesn't make sense. And we could be talking about anything. Like there's so many topics. Right? It's like it doesn't make sense. And I agree with you. We could be talking about any part of the NBA. Next game, another banger. Oh, if you have any cousins you haven't spoken to in a long time, call them up for this one. Magic at the Raptors. This is wow. They're 8-18 playing away against the 12-15 at home Raptors. Magic is going to happen this night. I mean, that's another game that I just would not go to if you said, "Hey, let's go." I'd say, "No."
I'm cool.
I'm good. Oh, an NBA game front row? No. But if I'm going to have to pick that game, Christ, I guess if it's a low spread, go with this is a dumb thing, but if it's a low spread, go with the Raptors. If it's a high spread, take the Magic because that's where I stand with those two teams. I don't see much of a separation. Am I wrong, TJ?
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think you're absolutely right. If Siakam plays that, it even makes it even more clear that you should take Toronto. But if it's a big number, they're not going to blow them out. So exactly how you put it is exactly how I would too.
Ray, you'd follow along?
Yeah, I think Toronto is the better team. Two bad teams, but definitely look at the point spread and see if Siakam is playing, and then just go based on that. But yeah, it's just sad. Like this is the NBA. This is a big problem, folks. Like this has to be fixed. There's too many of these games that we're looking at and saying like, I don't even want to be in the stands. That's a problem.
Right? Grizzlies at Bulls. Now, Grizzlies are like almost a 500 club. The Bulls are sub 500. They're not very good at home. There's a couple of good centers playing tomorrow in that game, right? But other than that, that's another game that I'm not a huge fan of. But again, I would go with the exact same thing I just said. What's the spread? I don't know yet. But if it's small, I'm going with the Bulls. And if it's not, I'm going to go with the Grizzlies. Because again, I don't see much separation.
Well, to me, I like Memphis in the game no matter what. I think the Bulls have lost 4 in a row, and it hasn't been pretty while they do it. These two teams just played each other like, I don't know, 3 days ago, and it was a pretty easy win for Memphis. The Bulls are kind of in free fall. So to me, it's Memphis either way, unless that number gets to like 10, which I don't think it will. I don't think it will at all.
Yeah,
right.
Levine is out for a while, so he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. So I really like Memphis in this one.
All right. Next game, Nuggets at Rockets. The Nuggets are 35-20. The Rockets are 14-41. Denver's favored by 8.5, and the over and under is 225.5. Who do you like?
Well, first thing, hey, Brooklyn, if anyone from Brooklyn's management is listening, can you just understand what we said about Oklahoma City and now what we're going to say about Houston? I mean, maybe this is what James Harden does. It just destroys your franchise. To me, 8.5 is a good enough number. I'll take Denver, even though I know Jamal Murray's not going to play. That sucks that he got hurt. I think Denver's pretty much any hope Denver had about being like a West Coast Finals team is gone without Murray. But tomorrow night will be a bloodbath.
Ray?
Yeah, even without Murray, it's not even close. Houston, I don't know what's going on over there. I think the NCAA team could beat that team right now.
I mean, their leading scorer in the game tomorrow is a kid averaging not even 11 points a game. And I'm ashamed to say it because I'm supposed to. Jayshawn Tate, I don't know him. Like, I really don't. He's leading the team in scoring right now. He's out of Ohio State, and I didn't remember him there either. That's bad.
Yeah, I feel like we're not doing the NBA like a good hype service either because like we just seem depressed by these games. But I'm just being honest. Like
These games.
Heat at Timberwolves. Heat, we don't have the spread, but the Timberwolves are 14-42 and falling fast. They're 9-19 at home against the just one game above 500 Miami Heat. You have Karl Anthony Towns, who I think is like, he might go his whole career and it's almost like he's hiding. Nobody knows. They don't speak of him. It's like he somehow exists but doesn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just there. He just scores 25, 11, and 4, but he just goes through. He's just never been the big name I thought he was going to be.
I'll tell you, that's almost what Kevin Love did when he was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Just kind of coasted through. Oh, he's a 2010 guy. Yeah, but no one's watching, no one cares, and no one's winning.
Yep.
He's too nice. I think he's too nice of a guy, to be honest with you. Seems like a really nice, well-adjusted guy. That's not good enough. Like, there's no killer instinct in the kid.
We don't like that.
No. We want somebody all whacked out, going crazy. All right. So who do we like in that? The Heat, though?
Yeah.
In general?
Even Miami's been hard to figure out. They've lost their last couple games, too, but I think this is a win they got to get, and I think they will easily.
Playoff Jimmy, you better suit up. You hearing me? You better suit up. I need you.
Right?
Fantasy playoffs.
Hey, Blazers at Spurs. Blazers favored by 1.5. Over under is 231.5. That's a good one.
It is. This will be a good game. This will be a fun game to watch. This is like. I like Portland. Every time I like Portland, they end up losing, and every time I say I don't like the Spurs, they end up winning. So do it that way you will. But the Blazers are under 500 against the spread on the season, but you didn't know that.
No. Ray, what do you like in that?
I like Portland. I just don't know if I would bet this game. I think it's going to be really close. Can go either way. I think like Coach said, I think it'll be a good game to watch, but it could really go either way. I'll go with Portland though.
All right. Hey, brother, a quick question for you. In your fantasy league, your basketball league, the Corrupt to Keep It Classic, there's 10 teams. How many make the playoffs?
8.
All right, so I'm definitely in.
You're in, yeah.
I haven't been paying attention.
Did you put a lineup in?
Oh, I haven't put a lineup in a long time. When do the playoffs start?
Monday.
Oh, all right. I'll be good for Monday. You want to know something funny, TJ? Is that I actually have, in my opinion, a really good fantasy basketball team. I just like the baseball team. I never pay attention to it. It's one of those things that I just forget to look at. Like, can you see my screen right now? Westbrook, Anthony Edwards, Garland, Kawhi, Ben Simmons, Robinson, Joel Embiid, Kanter, Vujacic, Trent Vicente.
Nice team.
Right? Can't seem to win. Can't seem to win.
That's a nice squad though. You had a hell of a draft. For a 10-team league, you had all these guys, you didn't make a trade?
This is a keeper league.
Oh. You should be winning the money.
Yeah, but I stink.
You have a host of legit fantasy basketball. This is a beautiful team that should be winning the money.
That shouldn't it be? Like, look at it. Like, look. I mean,
it's because you're not doing your lineup when you're supposed to. You're getting outworked. I will buy this franchise from you. What's the buy? How much?
The buyout.
Why don't you put a price on the franchise and we'll pretend I'm A-Rod and I'll just buy you a shitty basketball team.
I feel like even the bench is pretty good. You know what I mean? Like,
it's the coach. The coach.
Yeah, it is. It's without a doubt the coach. Yeah, I agree. I'm shitty with that. I should be ashamed of myself. But all right. What do we get? Games left. We got one more. Knicks, Mavericks. Mavericks favored by 5. The over-under is 211. Wow, that's the lowest one. Dallas wins by 5, right, at home?
I don't know. I like the Knicks. I'm excited about the Knicks right now for whatever reason. I got an itch about the Knicks. They won 4 in a row. Dallas just won an emotional game. Dallas is the better team. I wouldn't say in a series, but tomorrow night you give me 5 points, I'll go big on the Knicks. Like I feel like they
ESPN
over there. Yep,
big game, Ray.
Yeah, you know what? You got to give the Knicks credit. They've been in spurts this year, but I mean they're playing well right now. I think they got a bright future. I really like Dallas, though. I'm probably going to go with Dallas here, but I'm happy to see what's happening in New York.
I'm happy the Knicks are on. The Knicks are good job by ESPN for putting the Knicks on tomorrow night too. It really is a good job because I like a franchise like the Knicks to be good, and I think they're the freaking New York team, and for them they have some momentum. Let's get them on national TV against like everyone's favorite point guard Luka, and I'm gonna go with the Knicks.
Gonna be a great game. I like the Mavs. I wonder about Julius Randle. Like, have we seen this? We've seen the ceiling. Like, there's nothing else there's nothing else he can do, huh? This is
him. And it's good though. What he's doing is good.
Oh, it's definitely good. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, like, I was always hoping that when he got in better shape, like when he got like he is now, like because he came in a little, to me, soft. When he got a little in better shape, he would get better with everything. Just get into the NBA life. Because as a Laker fan, watching him as a rookie was a little bit rough. He just was a little, I don't know, not there.
But right now, he's giving you 23, 11, and 6 assists.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all-star level play. I mean, he's never going to be an MVP. So the answer is, yeah, this is his ceiling. And the way that I don't know that he's got 3 years of this ceiling either. The way that they're running that play is ragged over there, but no, it's been cool to see. The Knicks don't suck.
No, isn't that great? It's amazing that the Knicks don't suck because I attribute the Knicks with the Jets. I guess I just kind of for some reason I think they share the suckiness. Like they just both kind of come from that same suckness, if that's a word. I like when the Knicks are good and the Celtics. I like the old school teams being good. I can't help it. You know what I mean? I don't like the Warriors being good. I could care less.
Speaking of the Warriors, that Cleveland bet, I hope you didn't spend that. I hope you didn't spend that slip because you're down by a lot.
Yeah, it's going bad, huh?
It's going bad.
You know what's weird? Fucking look at the Bucks. I mean, look at the Hawks that I took.
The Hawks fighting.
I know.
That'd be a nice win. That'd be a nice win for Philly if Atlanta can get it. Yeah, but to your point, it would be way more interesting in the league if the best teams were the Knicks and the Celtics as opposed to the Jazz and the Suns and the Bucks. You know, like those aren't really. It's our East Coast bias talking for sure. I mean, this is where we are. This is what we grew up with. So it's good.
I just think East Coast teams are better. I mean, and I'll tell you why. I just think an East Coast product has more pressure on it. It has more expectations on it. And I think the attitude of the fans permeates through the whole team. Like East Coast is a bunch of shady pricks in every state. They really are. We got to agree to that.
They don't. When they booed Durant when he went back to Oklahoma City, it wasn't even as violent as Sixer fans last night. Like Sixer fans out there last night booing KD like he kicked their dog, and the guy didn't do anything. Like you don't get that in the West Coast. You get, yay, Suns.
Philly is the worst fans ever. They are the worst fans. I mean, we can go down the line of Santa, booing Santa. Michael Irvin got a stinger. They thought he was paralyzed. They decided to give him a standing O.
Like, had a jail. Didn't they have a jail in the football field? Like, wasn't there a jail at the football stadium?
Yeah.
I went over this list of Jets things that they did that blew up in their face. I forget on the football show. Ray, you might remember this. One of the things they had was this guy showed up with his flying lawnmowers. That was like his act. He did it at halftime. This is true. It was during a halftime of one of regular season games. And at the end, like the guy telling the story was like, he was talking to his dad and he's like, are they going to really fly those? And the dad was like, oh yeah, but it's safe because they wouldn't have him here if it wasn't safe. Well, they put like big ass engines on these lawnmowers, and the lawnmowers would fly and hover around the stadium. But one of them came crashing down and killed a woman.
Come on.
It's true story. Look it up. It happened. It was during a game. Another one of those Jets moves that they don't talk about, but it's in my list of, you can find it too in the list of like 20 things that have happened during Jets games that they don't bring up. But there was look up the flying lawnmower. It was a flying lawnmower that came down, hurt one person, but killed the other woman. Killed the woman. Only the fucking Jets. Only the Jets.
And you realize there was probably 100 fans after that were saying, "Please kill me too, because I don't want to watch the second half of this game."
Not only that, it's a Jets game, so it's not like it was full, right? So it actually had to seek out this poor woman.
Yeah, you could at least move, right?
Oh man, imagine that's so tragic.
A flying. How do you imagine just that's your legacy? Oh, Coach DJ, yeah, did you hear about him? No, what happened? Flying lawnmower got him. Like
that's it, yeah.
What?
Of all the ways, right? We all think about like, I wonder, we're all gonna have our day. Hopefully, no flying lawnmower doesn't make the list of like potential threats.
I'll tell you what does make the list, and this is off topic, but I'm watching this thing last night, and it was about this couple. It was about like pictures that have like weird stories, and it was like their last picture of them they went up on an air balloon, right? It was an air balloon made for about 20, 25 people. Air balloon's coming down, and the guy flying the friggin' thing, he hits one of those gigantic electrical wire things. As soon as it hits, there's like a bolt that goes through the whole thing. It cuts all the metal cords on the air balloon. But before the air balloon eventually plummets to the ground, it goes up in flames because of the fire. So everybody in the air balloon box goes up in flames. It flips over so that they're facing down. Now they're strapped in still. And in a flaming box, they go flying down 150 feet to their death. Now that's not the way you want to go. Like in a flaming box upside down 150 feet off the ground. That's like, what the fuck did I do for this? Like, this is crazy. It's like a flying lawnmower. Like, what am I doing here?
And that's why when I got the news about Kobe, it was like emotional because like you can only imagine like being with your daughter and like at some point it has to click like this is it, and that's got to be the worst because there's not a lot of difference between that and a helicopter really.
If that's an awful, awful, awful thing. But all right, so guys, this is episode 99 of Legit Fantasy Sports. So I'm very impressed with that. Very happy with that. Very quickly, I want to go over a joke. Frog walks into a bank. Walks up, meets the woman, says, "How are you? I'm a frog. I would like a bank loan." And the woman looks at him and says, I can't give you a loan. He's like, "Why not?" She says, "You're a frog." He goes, "I know, but I would still like a bank loan." And she's like, "This doesn't make sense." She's like, "What is your first name?" And the frog goes, "Kermit." And she goes, "I knew it. This is bullcrap. Get out of here." He goes, No. Come on. Stop. He goes, "My name is Kermit Jagger." He goes, "I know the name Kermit is synonymous." He goes, My dad wasn't Kermit the Frog. It was Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger had sex with my mom, a frog, and they named me Kermit. So while I'm Kermit, I'm not Kermit the Frog. I'm just Kermit the Frog." She goes, "Oh, I guess so." She goes, "But I can't give you a bank loan." He's like, I would like a bank loan." She goes, "You need collateral for a bank loan." He goes, "Well, I have this." And he pulls out this like music box that plays like Rolling Stones music. He goes, "I have this." She goes, That's like a toy. That's not going to get you a loan. I can't get you a loan." And the frog goes, "Well, I'm not going to leave until I get a bank loan. Can I speak to the manager?" So now the woman gets up, and the woman's name is it just says Whack. That's her last name, Whack. And she goes, "All right, I will get the manager." And she gets the manager, and she brings him over, and she says, "Mr. Brown, this is Kermit. Not Kermit the Frog, but Kermit Jagger. His dad was Mick Jagger. Yes, from the Rolling Stones. He had sex with a frog and had him. He would like a bank loan, but he doesn't have collateral. The only thing he has is this little music box. So I don't know what to do." And the bank manager looks at the thing, and he looks at her, and then he calls her by her first name, and he says, It's a knick-knack, paddywhack. Give the frog alone. His old man was a rolling stone. I'm sorry. I was trying to come up with the worst joke I could think of.
That was.
If we make it to 100 after this, it'll be a miracle.
Oh, anybody else got a bad joke they want to throw in quick? You sure? No? Okay.
All right. Al Horford's contract is funnier than that.
Oh God.
What is show number 100? Is it football?
Yeah, it's going to be football Sunday at 11 a.m. You're more than welcome to come on. I would like to get all the screen lit up with all the people from Legit Fantasy Sports. That'd be great. That's the best show. That's the show that started this whole thing. We would always do the 11 o'clock shows on a Sunday, even before we did this. And now here we are. I can't believe that we're here. Like I'm really happy that we are. And there's a bunch of Comic Cons and Paracons and all that other type con shit coming around. And I think we might get a table at one or two of them. Like, I think there's a good chance that we're going to sneak our way in there. Not just for the paranormal. I think for the sports angle too. Because they need people to do like hosting of like live panels and stuff like that. And they need volunteers. So I'll volunteer to do that crap. You know, I'll get a haircut. I'll shave. I'll do whatever they need me to do. Why not? Right. It'll be a fun time because look, what people tell me is this. So first of all, I'm always happy when they listen to a whole show because an hour is really hard. It's hard to keep people's attention for an hour. It just is on anything. But when people do tune in to listen to us, they like the fact that we know what we're talking about, but we don't seem to take it so seriously. And I think that's the difference because I think that's what bothers me about like ESPN or stuff like that, or whatever. It's always so damn serious. Like they're always, and then when it's not serious, it's like listening to Stephen A. Smith just yell. He's yelling something, and I don't know what he's saying. He's yelling it, and then Max says a couple of smarmy type things, and then it goes on the way.
Just guys talking about sports. Those guys, I mean, the whole point of most of the mainstream sports media is to have two people that have differing opinions, whether they believe what they're saying or not, I don't know. Right? And then we're going to make them like pretty much do verbal combat in the hopes that we can get a viral clip that is a hot take that we can send out so we can get the advertisement when someone clicks the. It's not even about analysis anymore. It's just two people yelling the same, two different sides of an argument. And it's unfortunate because I wanted to hear about Stephen A. Smith went nuts today about Kevin Durant getting booed. Like, is it really that serious, man? I think it's pretty funny. Like,
no, that show is like everybody else seems to me to be serious when they report stuff. Those guys seem to be kind of trying to be funny, but Steven yells too much. That was why I was bringing him up particularly. He would be funny, I think, if he just would stop yelling for a second. But just stop yelling for a second, right? You know what I mean? Ray, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they have an image, and it's they do it a certain way, but things are changing, and ESPN, I'm sure that the top brass is sitting there saying, you know what, the days of Chris Berman with the studio shows with the 3-piece suit and this tie, that's all starting to go by the wayside. Things are changing. Podcasts are here to stay. Shorter media, get it where you want it. I mean, even the Sports Center numbers will tell you that it's not the same. It's not, people aren't sitting there for the whole thing, watching through and expecting the same stale delivery. So with the jokes and I don't know, it's just, you got to be flexible and you got to change with the times.
I agree. Yeah. I like listening.
I like a lot of these shows where it's like the radio, the ESPN radio, but when it's on TV and you just see them, they're in a t-shirt and they're just bullshitting about sports. Mm-hmm. The radio shows where they're on for like 7 hours, it's not all this all the time because you're there for 7 hours. You can't do it. So
I agree.
Guys bullshitting about sports. And I even like the local stuff, Felger and Maz. Like I can listen to those guys and watch them on TV for a little bit. I like the laid back approach. And I think it's cool. King Mike, what are you doing here, man? Getting 100 shows is really that's awesome.
Dude, we've been lucky with the people that we've got. Like every time we get somebody for another show, like Joey Paranormal, that kid's money in the bank. Like we keep getting people that are really good at what they do. Like he's great on the baseball show. Like that kid is great on the baseball show. So we're just lucky. I think we ended up getting lucky with the people that we surrounded ourselves with. Now, Brother Ray, really quick, I've been watching YouTube, like a lot of like basketball players talking about other basketball players. That intrigues me. But I was listening to Dr. J talk about how he was almost a hawk. And when he was down there at camp, he would play Pistol Pete in a one-on-one after every practice because Pistol Pete used to always beg him to play. Now, what Dr. J said was this. He said Pistol Pete had more tricks than the Globetrotters. He said, I've never seen anybody who could shoot the ball from anywhere on any angle, right? And then he said of the one-on-ones, half the time he'd buy lunch, half the time Pete would buy lunch. Now,
yeah, he's
that's a great. That's something that I wish was on TV. I would watch them play one-on-one. Oh my God! Because I'm going to end on this. Back in the day, the dunk contest meant something. All right, if you want to talk about where the basketball changed for me, back in the day, man, Michael Jordan got in that. Everybody got in that. You wanted to win that. You didn't enter it. You did not enter it in case you didn't want to look bad. I'm not going to enter that because if I lose, it might damage my reputation. The fuck is that? Dominique Wilkins lost on one, but still looked like a maniac monster. You can lose and still look great, right? They won't all step up and do the dunk contest. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
you get a lot of role players now that actually are using it to become a name. Like Jason Richardson definitely used it to become like a guy that, all right, now people know who Jason Richardson is. He went and got a contract because of it. And Nate Robinson, he wasn't that great, but he was explosive and we all got to see him dunk and it kind of bought him some minutes, I think. I believe that to be true.
I think the biggest travesty in the dunk contest ever was Spud Webb winning over Dominique Wilkins. Spud Webb's dunks were just garbage. It's just the fact that he was so small and he looked going up so high. You look at what Dominique was doing, it's like, come on. You know what I mean?
The best windmill dunk of all time. Easily the best windmill dunk of all time, Dominique Wilkins.
We should do best dunkers of all time because that's one we would have a blast with because there's some serious in-game dunkers that were monsters. Some guys that were just like a Kemp, for example. Sean Kemp in a game, it was nasty. When he got going.
I like the guys who dunk mad.
Yeah.
I do.
Rock the baby, rock the cradle, put the baby to sleep. The angriest dunk of all time.
Or the Jay
taking off at the circle.
On the Lakers?
On the Lakers. And I sometimes at midnight, if I'm up, I'll watch that dunk just to watch it.
No, for me, it's Vince Carter in the Olympics, jumping over the center.
That was just sick.
It's like you see it and you go, holy shit.
Vince Carter, there was a while going around like it would come up on my Facebook feed all the time. It was like the best dunk of every season of Vince Carter. And like some of his dunks in North Carolina were Jordan-like. And then he got to the NBA and he became a better in-game dunker than Jordan even was. Like he would take off from anywhere and he was strong. He was strong to the rim. Too bad Vince didn't get the proper farewell because of this damn virus, but Hall of Fame.
I think Vince is the best dunker of all time. I give Vince best dunker of all time. Like I think he transcends.
Yeah.
I'm like starting to like fucking paranormal my way out. Look at my face. It's starting to blend into the brick wall.
It's like you're about to be abducted.
I think it's time we go. You guys got anything to say before we wrap up show 99?
Looking forward to 100.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find my way here to 100. I wonder if the priest will let me leave mass early to get here.
Father, look, I gotta go.
Look, you don't understand.
It's show 100, Father. All right. Well, I just lost my Vic stick. You guys know what a Vic stick is? Right, you know it. The little stick.
Yeah.
When you get old and you have a broken nose as bad as mine, you can't. There's no air. See this nostril? No air comes up this nostril because it's closed. It's not even open. It got broke so bad that I only have one nostril. So I got to walk around like an old, like a speed freak with a Vic stick, looking like an idiot. You know what I mean? Because I can't breathe. But all right, guys. It's April 15th, 2021. It's now 9:22. If it's not late, it's not legit. This was Legit Fantasy Basketball, episode 99 for Legit Fantasy Sports. So, for Coach TJ and Brother Ray, it's me, Mike Lepre, King Michael. Please tell your neighbor, tell your friend, tell anybody. This Sunday, 11 a.m., be here, be ready. It's going to go live, show 100. Thank you all. We will see you Sunday for show 100.